And APB, American Protection Bureau, voted #1 best on Long Island for all your security needs. Call 631-390-9050. That's 631-390-9050. APB.
Go ahead.
TMZ asked Hall of Famer Mark Henry if he was surprised by Hogan's rough reception at Raw. Henry was not shocked at all because Hogan has never tried to fix things over his racist tirade that was caught on sex tape and surfaced in 2015.
Right.
Anytime you consider the Mount Rushmore of the top 10 wrestlers of all time. By the way, Mark Henry, Mount Rushmore is not 10 people, it's 4, but we'll let you go on that, you fucking idiot. But I mean, seriously, you're on TMZ and you're going to make a comment like that? Shut the fuck up. It's like, don't use, like, you don't even know what a oh my God, Mount Rushmore is, you fucking moron. But anyway, but right now with social climate and the things that we have said and done, and his lack of effort to try to fix it, people are going to come down on him. I never had an issue with him before, and I heard all the stuff, and even then, I believe in giving second chances.
Right.
Anybody that knows me knows that I'm a fix-it person. I'm not gonna dwell. 1 second, dude, because my thing jumped. Bear with me here. Fucking annoying. I'm not going to dwell on the negative. I'm not going to talk about the past. We're going forward. And he never wanted to go forward and fixed it. So that's what happens when you think that everything's going to go away. It's not going to go away. He thinks it's going to go away. It's not. It's going to be a dark cloud on his career. You know, I offered him to say, hey, let's do a tour of black colleges and explain what happened. He didn't want to do that. Thoughts on Mr. Henry comments, Jimmy? Just ask this, let's say this last thing real quick. Mark Henry, if you're listening, and I know you are, when Tommy Dreamer was on Dark Side of the Ring and made his comments about Ric Flair being Rick, about sexually or being very handsy with the stewardess, and you guys suspended Tommy Dreamer. Did you ask Tommy Dreamer to take a tour to women's houses to explain sexual misconduct and his comments? No, I don't think so. Because guess what? It probably wasn't an opportunity to be in the limelight with a piece of, a paint can like Tommy Dreamer. So go after the greatest wrestler in history. But Jimmy, go ahead.
He's Mr. Fix-It, huh? He's a guy who's holding a grudge. And he knows that it'll make him money and give him notoriety just to mention Hulk Hogan's name. I don't believe he's a Hall of Famer. He bored the fuck out of me during his career. I liked him for about 10 seconds when he claimed he was going to retire and body slam John Cena. That's about it. It's like Dutch Mantel on steroids. But he probably never took steroids anyway. He's a big guy. Or did he? Where are you, buddy? You're frozen again. It looks like it's on me. Well, Hogan has been nothing but historical. Are you back, bro?
I'm back. I really do apologize to everybody out there. I'm shutting down things. I don't know what's going on my internet right now, but thank God you're here, Jimmy. You can keep it going.
Well, I'm trying to keep it going. I'm probably failing, but, that's okay.
Sure
I'm human. I'm human. I just think he's holding a grudge, bro. I don't know where you lost me, but I feel like, a guy who claims Mr. Fix-It. Okay, so Hogan didn't want to do it. And like you said, Did he do anything with the Tommy Dreamer thing? Probably not, because that's not going to make him any money. Look, he's staying relevant as possible by talking about him. I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. You know, I don't know if you're still with me.
I'm here. No,
Yeah.
here's a comment.
It is what it
These
is.
are just comments. There's no narrative about Hogan being a liar, only his own words. He has said almost all things he gets accused of, like wrestling 400 days a year. First of all, that's an exaggeration. You
Right.
fucking, oh my God.
Right. Of course.
And the
it's an
Hulkster in
exaggeration.
Heaven are about being Metallica's bassist, or that Elvis was his fan. There's proof of all being said and more, all of the voice and image. I don't know. Guys like Dusty, Brett, Macho Man, Andre, Heenan, Ventura, and others are remembered fine and aren't phased out. They aren't. Jesse was phased out for 20-something years.
Yeah.
Macho Man was never brought back.
Never. No.
You know,
it affected him terribly too. He was very upset about it. He wasn't happy to go to WCW. He didn't like.
I got to tell you, Jimmy, the comments are so. 90% of them are anti-Hogan.
Whatever.
Hogan is a racist. Hogan is a liar.
Whatever.
Hogan is a terrible person who did things like trying to slander the victim of his son's drunk driving accident, where they sued for medical fees. He deserves to get booed, and I will never, ever regret disliking him, even if I was a Hulkamaniac when I was 5.
Whatever.
So answer me about that. What about him when Nick killed that, crippled that kid, and Hulk said that stuff? What were your thoughts about that?
Well, define the stuff. Define the stuff. I mean,
well, all right, don't hold me to the words, but from what I understand, he told his son, you got to hang in there, and when we get out, we'll do a reality series. And I think he said that the kid wasn't a good kid or something like that. I mean, again,
I don't think Hogan's had the greatest family members. I mean, but what am I supposed to?
That was Hogan's statement, though.
No, but in general, I mean, the kids have not exactly, that look. They're the children of Hulk Hogan. They have the opportunity to succeed and do the smart things. I don't think that either one of them have been very smart.
Yes, my whole point is,
the
bad things that you do. Here's the question for society: do the good things outweigh the bad things you do through life, or the bad things outweigh the good things that you do through life?
Right. Well, you got to realize when you do the bad things, not to repeat them. I mean, no one's perfect. We make mistakes, It is what it is. I again understand the situation. If we were all wired up constantly, I don't think any of us could leave the house. Imagine if we were all huge public figures, every single one of us.
Well, let me ask you, what did you think what did you think about my point about Mark Henry again? Mark Henry, right, wanted Hogan to tour with him because he felt it necessary that he corrects himself in front of the black community, which isn't a bad idea, by the way.
I don't think it is at all.
But he didn't have the same feeling for Tommy Dreamer when he felt it was okay for Ric Flair to put his dick on some girl's fucking face.
Right. I don't know.
That was okay.
Well, apparently,
my whole point is, why isn't that like being brought up? You know what I mean? And by the way, if I did talk to Mark Henry, and I would ask him the same, why didn't you ask Tommy Dreamer to run around to all these women's shelters these poor women that get abused and explain himself for his stupid comments?
Right.
Because it doesn't fit Mark's agenda.
Well, I'll tell you what, it also doesn't fit the public's agenda because nobody gives a shit about Tommy Dreamer. How's that sound?
That's right.
Well, there you go. I mean, if Hulk Hogan farts the wrong way, we're going to be talking about what it smelled like. He apparently went to Checkers. What's going on?
So I wanted to remind everybody.
A guy with that money? Why is he not going to a steakhouse? That fart smelled terrible.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's the truth. That's what
I want to remind everybody we're supposed to have Brian Adidas on, but he's been having a struggle with his health right now. So hopefully it comes on. We were going to talk about and we're going to cover it slightly because it will be a future show with Brian. But we wanted to bring up the murder of Gino Hernandez. Jimmy's going to give you a couple of treats.
I am?
Yes.
Oh, no. Where am I? I figured.
Maria says Mark Henry, Monte, would give you the biggest lie ever. Yeah, he probably would. Again,
What?
I don't
What?
dislike Mark Henry. It's just like I don't
I missed
understand.
Mike. Can you repeat the comment?
Maria Davis said Mark Henry, Monte, would give you the biggest lie ever.
Okay. Now that I've heard that, look. Again, I feel like Mark Henry's an opportunist in this situation. He seems to stay. When do we ever really talk about Mark Henry? Let's be honest.
And
Okay,
by the way, I
it's
will
always when he's
reiterate.
criticizing Hogan because there's
But
nothing much to talk
Mark
about.
Henry
I'm
is
sorry.
also is an American hero.
He is.
He is an
That's got
American hero.
nothing to do with. That's not what we're talking about.
Right. No, I gotcha.
It's not what we're talking about. Mark Henry is a very amazing athlete and an accomplished professional wrestler. That's got nothing to do with anything. I'm giving my personal opinion on Mark Henry. My personal opinion as a fan was Mark Henry as a wrestler did nothing for me
Sure.
for a
I agree.
long time.
And
I
did
do
not
not.
deserve a Hall of Fame
He
induction,
is
by the way.
not a Hall of Famer. I hate to sound like from Queens, but you're going to tell me with a straight face Ivan Koloff or Demolition are not Hall of Famers and Mark Henry is? What the fuck planet are we living on? I mean, honestly, Johnny Rods is way more of a Hall of Famer than fucking Mark Henry. I don't want to hear it.
You're right.
You know,
No argument here.
I just don't want to hear it. Tony Gurria, Tony Atlas, Tommy Rich, Barry Windham, Mark Henry. What the fuck is going on? Did I miss something? I mean, I've been watching for decades. Did I really miss something? But there's a lot of Mark Henrys in the Hall of Fame. I could go on and on about that. You know, we could have a whole show with this.
I
You know, the
just
guys that are in
I
the Hall of
just
Fame. What are you doing here? How the hell did you get in here?
I
You
just
know,
don't I don't get the agendas here. You know what I mean?
right?
Um
Well, everything's an agenda, Michael.
but
Come on,
but the thing is, I'm friends with
everything.
someone, so I'm not going to call that guy out, but I'm going to
Of
call this
course.
guy out.
Well, there's your answer right there. Who does he work with? Well, who does he work with? You think he's going to do that?
But I
And
mean,
again,
that to me, that's hypocritical bullshit.
I think it was a great idea that he approached. If he did approach Hogan with it, I think that's a great idea. That's an admirable idea.
I think so too.
I think it's a great idea. That's got nothing to do with this. You
But
know, I mean,
you should also approach Tommy Dreamer with it.
I agree with that. Look,
Because again, the reason is we're not forgiving anything, right? Once you say it,
well,
you own it for the rest of your life.
right. Look, if everybody's going to be this way, we're just calling out the hypocrisy of it. That's
Thank
all
you.
we're doing.
Not saying I
Okay?
agree with it, right? We don't agree
Right.
with it, but we're going to call the
Yeah.
hypocrisy of it.
Yeah. I mean, Mark Henry should be just counting his blessings and being glad that there was a Hulk Hogan to pave the way for, to me, a mid-card guy to get in the Hall of Fame like that. You've done well. What is wrong with you? All the money that the wrestlers make today, where do you think that starts? There's a point of origin for everything. And to be honest, and to be fair, to especially to Benny's generation, look, Bruno was the first. The first thing I ever saw was George Plimpton's Wide World of Sports, which was a big deal back in those days if you were featured on his show. And here's Bruno Sammartino driving up in a Rolls Royce. It's just, I mean, where do you think that this all comes from, Mark? You know where this all comes from. This is no revelation to you. I'm just the simple wrestling
But
fan
let me
that know
ask you this,
nothing. But
Jimmy.
it comes from somewhere, a point of origin, from
On
Sammartino to Hogan, some more Hogan, and then Austin, and then Rock, and then Cena.
right.
You know, there's a pecking order here, but I mean, you know, I'm
But
Mr. Fix It. You're not fixing
let me
anything
ask you
by
this, Jimmy.
hovering over it for years and years and years and years. And the
Jimmy-
only time we bring you up is because you're talking about Hogan.
Jimmy has made it one of his deals that during a lot of interviews he will bring up the Hulk Hogan racist comments and ask a wrestler what they thought about it, whether the wrestler was Hispanic, black, white, whatever.
Right.
Right? Why are those wrestlers' words not counted? Why does that not matter?
Because
Tony Atlas, the
Right.
Nasty Boys. We were friends with Hogan. I get it, right?
Right.
Butch Reed, Cowboy Bob Orton. Who else did you ask, dude? There was a couple other people.
Oh, we've asked a lot of people. They were all pro Hogan. Lots of them. I mean, Ted and Rotunda. I mean, everybody. They were all more than thrilled working with him, being on a card with him. He wasn't a fucking dick. You know, I mean, I really don't know why it's gotten to the level it's gotten to. You know, from a business standpoint, we always talk from a business standpoint. Oh, it's jealousy, Mike. I'm sorry. It's jealousy. Hulk Hogan was at the top of the card for a reason. We adored him. You and I started it. I started adoring Hulk Hogan before he was even Hulk Hogan. I mean, he was Hulk Hogan, but he wasn't Hulkamania Hulk Hogan. I've loved Hulk Hogan since he was with Blassie. I loved Hulk Hogan from the beginning. And he was Captain America. Behind the scenes, you think we had the fucking internet? You think we had fucking cell phones? All we saw on camera was this amazing, amazing character, larger than life, Captain America in the wrestling ring, preaching what you said. Say your prayers, take your vitamins,
Dude,
be a good
I
person,
am so
you know?
tired of these agenda
It's a
driven
character,
shows.
it's a show.
No, but I'm just so tired of the agenda. Oh, all right, so it is news. Hulk Hogan gets booed. That is news. But no one actually gives a real opinion out there. It's just like, oh, Hulk Hogan's a piece of shit. It's like, come on, man.
Right.
Look at
Right.
get real here.
Right.
Enough
Right.
already.
Right.
Anyway,
You know what they don't realize though, and I'll tell you this much: you think that Hulk Hogan's not going to make money off this situation? You're wrong, brother. Because
I mean, how much money does that guy need?
It's not even about that. I'm
who
just saying, Hogan is a businessman. He's smart.
who we should have had on?
Yeah.
We should have had if this was going to be the topic of conversation. Because
Yeah.
originally it was supposed to be the Gino Hernandez